Hello my lovely viewer, I am back once again with a final episode of South Korean survival drama series, titled, Squid Game. Watch the full video to find out the interesting part and please take care. As a disclaimer, this video includes my own analysis, commentary, and it's not a substitute of the full movie. Click the link below to watch, buy or rent the movie. In the beginning of the episode, we see two players, Gi-hun and Sang-woo standing face to face. There is an announcement asking to choose the coin for offense and defense. Gi-hun chooses the triangle, guard tosses the coin, and Gi-hun wins the toss. Gi-hun chooses to play as an offense, which means Sang-woo will be playing as a defense. The final game is a Squid Game and they are taken to an open area for the final time. Back in the VIP room, the frontman explains to them that this game is the most violent game, and any kind of violence is allowed in this game. This game is limited to certain rules, but only a few. The game begins, Sang-woo takes out a pocket knife, but Gi-hun throws sand in his eyes. In this game, Gi-hun seems more confident than Sang-woo. Suddenly, it starts to rain, making the game more interesting. In the meantime, Gi-hun also takes out a knife from his pocket. They start to fight with the knife. Sang-woo somehow manages to grab the knife and stabs Gi-hun several times. Gi-hun falls on the ground in the pain. Sang-woo is about to stab Gi-hun right in the chest, but luckily, Gi-hun stops it with his hand. Gi-hun somehow saves himself by biting Sang-woo's legs. Gi-hun uses a knife stuck in his hand and is about to stab Sang-woo but decides not to kill him. He let the man live and walk from there to the finish line but decides not to cross the finish line. He turns back and goes to Sang-woo and decides to enact Rule 3 and end the game right there. Which means he gives up the prize money and saves his childhood friends. He gives his hand for the new beginning. But Sang-woo has another plan. He stabs himself in the neck and asks Gi-hun to help his mother before passing away. This means Gi-hun wins the game. The game is over. To celebrate the victory, Gi-hun is blindfolded and taken in the limo escorted by the frontman. Inside the limo, In-ho compares Squid Game with the horses. People bet on horses, while in Squid Game, people are bet instead of horses. Like before, Gi-hun gets knocked out by the sleep gas and is dropped in the middle of the street. He is holding a credit card in his mouth. He rushes to the ATM to check the balance. His PIN is his game number 0456. He withdraws 10,000 won, leaving 45.999 billion won. He now believes it, and astounds to see the money but is sad inside. In the next scene, we see him, walking in his old neighborhood and finding Sang-woo's mother. She hands him some fish. Gi-hun stands silent, tears in his eyes, all this time and cannot tell her son news. Then he heads his home. He sees his mom lying on the floor. He tries to wake her but finds that she has passed away. He was doing all this to help his mother, but now he cannot help his mother, though he has money. Then the episode takes us to next scene. 1 year later, Gi-hun is called by the bank manager. The bank manager wants Gi-hun to shift from a saving account to a fixed account, where he can earn more interest, but Gi-hun doesn't show interest in it. It seems that he hasn't used any of that prize money. The bank manager is surprised to see Gi-hun asking 10,000 won to him. Then we cut to the next scene, where Gi-hun is sitting on the bank of the river. A lady comes there asking to buy a rose. He uses that money to buy the rose. There is a black envelope with a red ribbon attached to the rose. He opens the gifts and finds the golden business card of Squid Game with the words, December 24th, 11:30 p.m., Sky Building 77th floor written on it. After that, he heads to the address and enters the lavish apartment. He finds an old man, still alive. He is completely stunned to find him alive there. An old man called him because he is informed that Gi-hun hasn't spent all the prize money and living like he used to. An old man called him because he is informed that Gi-hun hasn't spent all the prize money and living like he used to. Il-nam asks him, believing Gi-hun is tormented by guilt over all those who have died in the games. This would also explain why Gi-hun is still struggling financially. It's fair to conclude that these games began in the early 1990s, based on what Junho discovered in the files, and Il-nam says the same about the game to Gi-hun. An old man also adds that he and a group of wealthy friends come together and plan to invest their money productively and form the different series of games and set the huge prize money for the winner. All he was doing was to change the life of a single person, and winner of the game. To make it more interesting, they start to invite wealthy VIP to watch the game, betting on people like horses. They made this game for the sole purpose of having fun. Gi-hun is furious, but Il-nam quickly reminds him that 93% of people knowingly signed their contracts again, knowing precisely what they were getting themselves into with these games. An old man reveals that though his background was a lie, others things are still true. He has a tumor and is dying. He had decided to be the part of the game, to feel the sense of joy engaging with others, rather than just waiting to die. With the help of the game, he becomes able to recall his memory of the childhood game which he had played with his friends. He enjoyed every game he played from the first game to the fourth game he was part with. He also reveals that playing with Gi-hun at the fourth game helped him to recall all the memories from his past that he had forgotten. This is why Gi-hun was able to advance and Il-nam was willing to sacrifice himself. Which means the gunshot to him was a deception. As the clock strikes midnight, Il-nam dies for real. Now, it becomes clear why he votes not to continue playing the game in the first episode. He did because he follows the rules and respect the people's democratic process. Given that, it was obvious that the old man was in the game, so Frontman was taking over as host in the old man's absence. Gi-hun leaves from there and decides to change his appearance. He gets his hair cut, dyed red, shaved his beard, and goes to meet Se-byok's brother. He takes him to Sang-woo's mother and asks her to look after him and hand her a suitcase. He walks away. She tries to lift the suitcase, but couldn't, and open it to see it, but finds it completely packed with cash with a note, saying that the money he owed to Sang-woo. In the next scene, we see Gi-hun in the airport and is heading to Los Angeles to meet his daughter Ga-young and is about to board the plane. He sees the same businessmen playing games with the poor guy. They are exchanging slaps and smacking envelopes. The businessman also notices him, but suddenly the train passes from the platform, completely blocking the view. Gi-hun runs toward them, but the businessman boards the train and escapes. Luckily, finds the probable victim and snatched the business card, and asks not to participate in it. There is the final call for boarding to plane for Los Angeles. Gi-hun calls the number on the card and promises to pay for what had happened to them and others. He doesn't board in the plane and turns back, and heads to participate in the game once again, but not as a player. The episode ends here. Will Gi-hun be able to take revenge on them? We will find it in the next season. Until then, subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.